So I was in this deep frustration energy today, this frustration frequency. But let me tell you, this is how I transmuted it into harmony. Hey, Crown Queens, it's me, Coach Hunt, and I just wanted to talk to you today about the experience that I had today regarding this frustration energy. So let me tell you. I went to go see a client. I haven't saw them in 3 weeks because I gave them these skills to do and to practice for themselves and for their child. And when I tell you I went to see them today for their coaching session individually as parents, did they do anything? They did not. At least they owned up to it and said, I haven't done anything. And besides being disappointed in their behavior, I just allowed them to speak, give me excuses, and tell me what they didn't want to do versus what they wanted to do in their dreams and their goals that were a disconnect because they are not doing what the baseline. But I digress. So during all of that, I decided to do some therapy skills with their child and really model again to show them what they need to do or what they could be doing with their child to help him be calm and learn and grow. And so we had a whiteboard, we had some markers, and when I say they just be looking like, how does this woman get him to sit still? Because I told them how to have him get still. Let him use his imagination and his motor skills, his hand motor skills, his large and small motor skills, as well as his imagination with a whiteboard. I mean, he was able to draw and trace and wipe off and clean off and pick colors. All that good stuff. But this is where the frustration came. So I digress. This is where the frustration came. The frustration came is when I realized I was frustrated after I left and I was driving home and then I realized my energy body was just off. And I was like, I was driving, I was like, why am I still thinking about them? Why am I so And then I could physically feel my body just being dry and I got thirsty and I was like, oh my God, I have not drank any water. I haven't eaten. And I'm feeling all these unnecessary emotions that I know that was not 100% mine. So these are the things that I had to do. One, I acknowledged. I had to acknowledge I'm driving. Do 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 do. Just listening to an audiobook, but couldn't get into the groove of it because of the frustration. So once I realized I had the frequency of frustration in my energy body, I stopped to at the grocery store and I got some water and I got something to eat. And I reminded myself that this too shall pass, as they say. And I continued on home. And then I realized I need to move my body. So I went to the gym. I did 30 minutes of the stair stepper. I did 30 minutes of the treadmill. And I just allow myself to just breathe in the good oxygen, the hydrating of the water. You know what I'm saying? And then I visualize what this frustration frequency felt like and looked like within my body. And it was all jagged and you know what I'm saying? It was just looking horrible. And so I'll allow myself to listen to some affirmations while I was working out and listen to some harmonizing music versus music with, R&B and stuff like that because I know I needed to be in a different energy. Didn't need to be listening to no love songs. I needed to listen to something that was going to harmonize my body and my frequency because I didn't want to be frustrated going to bed. Don't nobody want to do that. We want our energy body to be in harmony so we can have great dreams and we can manifest and be at a neutral or at least a high vibe. So anyway, I went ahead and looked at my frequency and I saw the rhythm and the waves and how they started to move out of the jagged frequency into the wave frequency before I left the gym. And I took a moment to reflect before I left the gym. I said, is this enough? Because I was going to do some weights or something like that. But I felt weights wasn't the right issue. So I just walked around, cooled down my body. And once I left the gym, I did another body check and I said, wow, I am officially out of that frustration frequency, which was definitely a blessing. So, with the three things that I mainly did was first I had to acknowledge it, and then I had to hydrate my body, and then I had to move energy. I had to move the energy that was in my body and move it into something else. Mentally, I utilize affirmations and song frequencies while I move my body. And I continue to reflect to see if where the changes were and how far the changes needed to be before I decided to stop. Yeah, those are the three things that I did. You can do some other things. I also think I'm probably either going to draw tonight or just journal in gratitude or in thankfulness, how I quickly reflected and balance myself out because, I'm very proud of myself about that because sometimes I will stay in an energy knowing that I do not need to be in that energy. You know the frequencies that you may also try to stay in and you know you don't need to stay in, like frustration, resentment, anger. You don't want to stay in those frustrations. You don't want to stay in that energy. You want to transmute those into something else. So you have to find what works for you. But hydration, water is definitely a key to flush anything out of your body. Energy, food, whatever it is. Water is king, is foundation to life, especially if you charge the water. So with that being said, afterwards, when I got home, I took a shower. I felt good. I'm doing this video now. But my energy, the frustration energy became fuel for something else. It became fuel for this video. It became fuel for the teaching moment. It became fuel for me to move my body and get stronger. And it just became fuel for me to have in my memory banks to know what I need to do the next time I feel the frequency of frustration. And just know that every emotion is just a frequency that we can transmute into something else. So, as you reflect on that today, I also would like you to reflect on attending from Dear Diary to Dear Me experience. It's still going on. It's only $44. You get the ebook so you can get ready to write your letter so you can reflect on 2025 as well as project the vision and the dreams that you want for 2026. The experience is going to be awesome. You're going to be able to do an activation and you'll be able to just set the tone for 2026 intentionally for yourself. And so I also want to invite you to right now, what frequency are you holding in your body? Is it curiosity? Is it um I would say curiosity or interest or something like that because you're still watching this video and I appreciate it. Give me a like and subscribe. Yes. Come on, Queen. Come on, Crown Era Queens. You got this. But yeah, I think that's it. I love you guys so much. It's Coach Hunt and I have your greatest interest at heart. And so remember, when you want to transmute, especially the frequency of frustration, acknowledge it, hydrate it, and move your body. Move that energy out of your body the best way you know possible. I love you so much. It's Coach Hunt, and I have your greatest interests at heart. Bye.